Good morning, everybody. It is Motivational Monday. I am here live, both in the Manager Critic community group. I'm on Step by Step listening page, and I will also here at YouTube. So when you come along here, please put comments below, say hello and say hi. Let me know whether you're doing hashtag on replay. Today's subject is acceptance and grief. So here in the UK, we have been told we're in lockdown again. And for many of us, including myself, what that will immediately do is change the plans. It will change the future. So for me, it was as simple as I got myself all organized. I'm thinking we're definitely going to be in lockdown by Christmas. I need to get all the Christmas presents organized. I've chased all my children, my grandchildren. Thought I'm going to get all the presents wrapped. I'm going to get sorted. I'm going to drive to Kent. I'm going to drop them off to those gorgeous bundles of joy on the 21st of November. And then I will settle down and be okay with the fact that I can't see them for Christmas. That was my plan. But that's gone. And what happens when things change is we lose something. And often what will happen is we go through a grief cycle. And most people at this point may have a wave of emotion, but not know what to do with it, not know how to listen to it, not know how to express it. And so what we might do is get really feel really depressed or really low. We might find ourselves feeling very angry. All sorts of emotion may be going on. And I just want to share with you a quick strategy today that can help you to do that. Spend some time just writing down what is going to change as a result of this news. What's changing for you? So what is not going to happen because of what's going on? And so write down all the things that are not going to happen. I am very fortunate, so I want you to lean on me right now. The main thing that's not going to happen for me is I'm not going to see my grandchildren. And that does make me sad. It brings me tears. And I've allowed myself yesterday to have quite a low day. I was quite sad about it and the realization. But once you've grieved that emotion, that you've acknowledged the fact that you are, you've acknowledged it and you've accepted it, then you can move on to appreciate it. So it's okay. So I can't see my grandchildren. So what can I do? So in my case, I'm really thinking now, okay, so I was getting organized to get the presents. What can I do to send a bit of Nana love to my grandchildren? All right, I may not be able to have the hugs and the squeeze and the snotty nose and the laughs and the chuckles, everything that comes with gorgeous 3-year-olds. But what I can do is keep that connection there. That's probably the thing that's the saddest for me this year is we have really not seen the children as much as we would normally do. And I want to reach out. So I want you to think now. It's called Nurturing the Negative Niggles. I want you to write down everything that's niggling you right now. If you can, put it on Post-it notes and put it over a flip chart. And trust yourself on the color of Post-it note you pick out. But Nurture the Negative Niggles is a really good strategy for just acknowledging, first and foremost, what's happening. And then with what's happening, the acceptance comes with you may have to give yourself some time to literally grieve and acknowledge that it's sad or it's not fair or whatever else is coming up. But just notice whatever emotion comes up. And then the appreciation process can happen where you start to go, okay, so I appreciate that we can't do that, but what can I do? So thinking about, for me, I can't see the grandchildren. So what would I like to have happen? Well, I'd like to send them gifts. I want to be creative. Now, the thing for me, if I don't manage these emotions, if I don't acknowledge the fact that I'm feeling sad and I don't accept what is, then I can't get into this creative space where I come up with new ideas, different ways of doing things. So this year was going to be the one thing I've lost this year. I was going to have more fun. So I've realized actually there's no reason I can't do that. So I'm really putting my attention on having Make It Happen Market Day with the Manager Critic community. We're having a quiz night. I'm putting a Power of Fun event on. It is a paid event, but I know that I will find that fun. Creating presents and sending gifts, I will find fun. So I want you to think about today, in order to grieve this process, the lot, you have to first of all acknowledge that there has been a loss. Okay, so write down everything that's niggling you, everything that you cheesed off, everything that's bothering you, all the decisions you still have to make. Write them all down, Post-it note them if you can, put them up so you can visually see them. Then have an acceptance of what is. Now, some of those things will just be that they've been postponed. Okay, and it may be postponed for another 6 months. It might be postponed for a couple of years, but some of them are literally, they're being postponed. And some, a bit like my grandchildren, I can never get that year back. So some of it is just acceptance that it can't happen. And allowing myself to notice whatever emotions I'm feeling. So yesterday I was feeling incredibly sad. And I just allowed myself to be with that sad, allowed the emotion, which is energy emotion, to transform or travel through my system. I expressed it to my husband that I was really sad. I had a few tears. And then but if you don't allow yourself to acknowledge it and accept it, it will stay inside you. It'll be like a nervous tension. And when you've got that nervous tension, you end up overeating, over drinking, over talking, over withdrawing. We do tend to do more of the stuff that isn't resourceful, that isn't helpful for us. But it's because we don't know how to express these feelings. So just notice if you've got a sensation inside, what kind of sensation is it? Find out what those emotions are. I call it a process with my clients. We call it managing the emotional buttons. So if you can name the button, is it anger? Is it sadness? Where is it? And even ask the button what it would like to have happen. And sometimes it's just simply, all it needs is to be listened to and heard. So when you've listened to that button and you've acknowledged it and you've heard it, then we can get into appreciation. Okay, so it's appreciating that it is sad and that's can't happen. But ask yourself, what would you like to have happen? And you could even ask yourself, what is working about that? So there's some things that I can't do in my business that I would wanted to do at the beginning of the year. And what I've learned is that I've really started to value and appreciate the fact that because I couldn't do them, it actually forced me to put things online. And because I was doing things online, I had to learn how to teach things differently to how I would when I facilitate things. And by teaching it, I discovered a whole module that I was missing from the book that I was writing, Do, Delegate or Ditch. So actually there's been some real appreciation now on reflection of what was really frustrating at the time. There is it. So when we can get to that point where we really appreciate these changes and we notice what that gives us, what's the value that we can get from it, magic can happen. So I want to leave you with that. I just want to say to you guys, if you are struggling, reach out, use the step-by-step listening in the Manager Critic community. Sometimes when we're stuck like this, what we need is to talk to somebody and we want someone else to tell us what to do. And if when they tell you what to do, it lands really well and it sits with you and it works, fantastic. But if someone telling you what to do doesn't make you feel any different, you may need to be listened to, in which case, please reach out to our community. Tell people that you need to be listened to. Tell people that you want some questions. Tell people that you need to have your words and thoughts reflected back to you so that you can get clarity of what you think and what you feel. And I will be here to support you in any way, which way I can, but you just need to let me know what kind of support that you need. And sometimes we just need to be listened to. That actually we can't get through that acknowledging and accepting part until we've heard ourselves. We can't get into the appreciation. We can't take on the advice, suggestions, and ideas of others if we haven't had something or some way of listening to ourselves. And people often don't know that you sometimes need someone external to you to access that wisdom inside. Sometimes it's not possible just to sit there and think. It's when you have a question or someone puts your attention on a gesture. So if you sort of like this, I'll be able to see that as I'm facilitating you. And I can say to you, and what kind of is that? And so you might become aware that your body is giving you information that's outside your conscious awareness because you're not looking at you. You're not seeing and hearing you. And that's where coaching and facilitation can help you access that inner stuff so that you can accept it, appreciate it, and move on. So sending out lots of love to you all. I know it's a difficult time, but I'm currently in a really, really good place. And I have lots of support around me where I can go and talk and download. So if you need to talk to me and you need someone to listen to, please reach out. Do not struggle through this time. And on next week's video, we're going to talk a bit more about autumn and learning to let go. And we'll come back to you with that next Monday. Have a fantastic week. Don't forget to keep doing more of what you love and ditch the critic that says you can't.